The Tailteann Cup final then was Meath 2-13, down 14 points. A big result from a Meath perspective. Watched this game, was in the Cusack stand just before this game started, so got to catch the whole amount of the game. It was interesting, because Down were, in my opinion, by far the better side in the first half. They were 4 points to 1 up. They were looking comfortable. They were taking their chances. Liam Kerr was looking very strong. Pat Havern having a great game. But then that goal, and I'll take it back to you, because I haven't seen the game back, and I didn't watch the Sunday game last night, so I haven't been able to see what happened. But what on earth happened with that goal? Because I was at the upper Cusack, the complete opposite end, obviously, to the hill. And I'll be honest, nobody knew it was a goal until about 2-3 seconds after, when the green flag is waving and a few fans are celebrating. It's like, what on earth happened there?
It was like, Meath were having one of those mopey attacks where they're passing the ball left, right, left, right. Jack Flynn just decides, do you know what? I'll just have a shot for a point. Why not? And he kicks it, and it kind of looks like he's either kind of half floating the ball into Ronan Jones or half going for the point. He ends up over kicking it if he's going for the ball to Ronan Jones. It hits the post, then comes back down, hits between kind of Pat Havern and Ronan Jones, like both on the leg, and it just goes into the net. And it's just the weirdest play I've ever seen, because I was watching it, and it was just like, Niall Kane in particular is the funny one to look at, because it literally hits the post, hits the two lads, and goes in. And he's literally there like, this is Niall Kane. He's literally like,
all right then. Yeah.
What just happened? Like, he doesn't even do a big reaction. He's just, oh, okay, go. And after that, Down, it just seemed like whatever could go wrong did go wrong. I picked Down to win based off of the fact that they hit 17 wides in Parnell Park, based off the fact that I said, look, their attack suits Croke Park a lot, hence why they scored 8 goals against Laois. And the first 15 minutes I was watching the game thinking, this is going exactly how I predicted it would go. I'm feeling very confident about my prediction here. And then that goal goes in, and Down just never got going again. And they missed 2 huge goal chances. Like, Liam Kerr missed Blaze one over the bar just before half-time. Ryan Johnston had too much time to pick where he was going to put it in the Meath net, ended up putting it straight at Sean Brennan. And then the second half, Down came out, and Niall Kane slots 2 frees, puts them 2 points in front. I'm thinking, okay, Down might still win this game. And then all of a sudden, Jack Flynn realises that if he shoots, he can't miss. Hits 4 points. Yeah. Jack O'Connor comes off the bench to hit 1-2, and that's a wrap. Meath are Tailteann Cup champions.
Yeah, and look, fair play to me. You have to give them a huge amount of credit, because like coming into the game, probably said the same as you. Like, Meath only have really one way of playing, which is being direct, like kicking into the full forward line. I thought if they kicked the ball into that Down full back line, they'd get turned over. They'd run into blind alleys, and they just get frustrated by Down. But actually, Meath showed a lot of variety. Like, I don't know if they ever did actually go direct in the end. They certainly weren't playing how we'd usually see Meath play. They were keeping the ball. They were going through the lines. They were being very smart in possession. And they were taking chances on. They were taking risks on. And I felt like Down at times in the first half and in the second half they were overcomplicating things. They were trying too much. They were, all this crack of what we see with a lot of teams this year, overplaying the ball, too many hand passes. Whereas Meath, where they were taking risks, they were running beyond the shoulder, taking chances on. And they paid dividends to it. And fair play to me. Like, they were very well set up, organised defensively as well, getting a lot of turnovers in and around there. As you said, Down missed a couple of big goal chances, and had they scored them, it could have been a different game. But at the same time, Meath have definitely come on quite a bit under Colm O'Rourke in this Tailteann Cup. Like, you can clearly see there's been a big improvement, and in the end, more than deserved winners.
Yeah, no, without doubt. And they always had the potential. And like, it was at the start of the Tailteann Cup, I predicted Cavan to win it, and I said if it's going to come outside of Cavan, it's going to be Down or Meath. And then Meath at the time was like, Meath will win it. They have the potential if they can turn it around. I still didn't think that they would turn it around, but they did. And they did turn it around really, really well. And like, for O'Rourke to do that, and he handed out 13 debuts.
Wow, yeah.
Like, this is what I mean, is that, like, Matthew said this as well yesterday, like the game against Cork in the Allianz League, where they got a great victory, only 5 of those players started the Tailteann Cup final, which is a crazy turnaround. If you're talking about, like, where is it? How many new lads have come into the team? Conor Gray in midfield, Jack Flynn around midfield, Aaron Lynch in the forwards. They've really changed it around, and it's paid dividends. Adam O'Toole in
Yeah.
the full back line as well. Very impressed by him. Sean Coffey, very impressed by him. Like, it's all turned around. Sean Brennan and goal even.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's been so many changes. Like, and yeah, Sean Brennan was excellent with his kickouts. Like, he was spot on with a number of them. And like, I remember Harry Hogan in the sticks last year, and I thought he'd done very well. So it was surprising to see him lose his place and Brennan coming in. But yeah, like, and Jack Flynn looks a serious footballer. Like, I remember being at that game in Parnell Park, and Jack Flynn came on in the second half, and he changed the game. And like, obviously, it was much closer to the action, and you could see. He's a tall lad. He's a big guy, and like, his physical presence around the pitch, you could see it. He's able to take the challenges, and he's clearly able to take his points as well. And you know, like, him starting the game, obviously being a late change, like, he was instrumental. Like, 4 points in total. You know, the goal in the end, to be fair, I think it got credited to him, but I don't think, obviously, look, it clearly wasn't obviously his goal. But he was phenomenal. Like, he was absolutely phenomenal. And as you said, like, you know, plenty of other lads in there, like Jack O'Connor, obviously coming back into the side, Matthew Costello as well. Like, a lot of very, very good footballers in this Meath side that have made the breakthrough. And yeah, definitely a lot, you know, positivity for Meath going into next year.
Oh, without doubt. Like, there's definitely a lot of positivity. And the fact is, as me and you were talking about off air, they've now got themselves into a position where All Ireland Championship football is secure. They can just, as long as it doesn't even matter. Yeah, even if they get relegated from Division 3, from Division 2, they're still in the All Ireland. So just use the league and use the Leinster Championship as a platform to build your team and get ready for the championship. And they'll take huge confidence from looking at how well Westmeath did in the All Ireland this year and how they were right there with every team that they played against. So yeah, I'm expecting some good things from Meath next year.
Absolutely, yeah. Like, I think, as I was saying to you, like, I think, look, if they were to get relegated from Division 2, it would be a setback. But you know,
I hope they come back. I hope they come back, by the way. Like, it's one of those things. I watched your video on the Leinster Championship. Great video, by the way. And you were talking about how Meath have just only reached one semi-final. Like, Meath have been in the doldrums as well. And it's one of those things where I'd love to see them come back, because they are the other team in Leinster. We need them. We need Kildare to be good. We need those two to up their levels to make it a championship. And trust me, if Meath and Kildare manage to up their levels, if Cork up their levels in Munster, I think the chat about provincial championships will actually decrease a lot.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, if we can get Meath back to the good days. Look, obviously, we don't want, as Dublin fans, we don't want Meath to beat us, but look, we want competitive games, we want a rivalry and everything else, and you know, we want those good days to come back, because I think we all remember in Croke Park when it was 60,000-70,000 sellouts and everything else, and it certainly would be great to see. But at the same time, from a Meath perspective, like, it is important that they've had a lot of turnover in the last couple of years with so many players, and it's so important for them now and for Colm O'Rourke, I think, to keep these group of players together. You know, get everyone to buy in going into next season, because there has been so much turnover in the last couple of seasons, and that probably has been a common trend with Meath football really in the last 4 or 5 years, is the amount of turnover that's been there.
Yeah, and like, you even talk about it there, like, you look at the Meath team that won the Tailteann Cup there. How many lads have we seen over the last few years that are in their mid-20s that have actually been kind of main players for Meath that have been nowhere near the panel this year? Like, the likes of Ben Brennan, the likes of Thomas O'Reilly. Like, he was in the team in the league, was nowhere to be seen in the Tailteann Cup. Shane Walsh. Like, players in the past that have been really important. And I know that there's injuries, and I know that a lot of the lads that I listed are probably injured right now. It's very hard to keep up with who's injured and who's not. But it's very much a case of every year they seem to have, particularly under Andy McEntee, every year they seem to have a new main man. It was Michael Newman one year, then it was Ben Brennan the next, and it was Thomas O'Reilly the next, and it was Jordan Morris the next. And it's like, can we get a bit of continuity, lads? A bit of the same forward line 2 years in a row, maybe. And hopefully they can build something, because I actually think as a forward line, James Conlon was another one that came in. and
I remember
just
him. Yeah.
was gone as quickly as he came. And it's just like get a bit of continuity in there. I thought Jack O'Connor when he came on looked fantastic. And if they can get like a six forwards, that as I said, because once you get continuity, you start to get chemistry between the forwards. They start to know how to play with each other, and that would only mean good things for Mid.
Yeah, like, and obviously we're seeing Morris more settled into the side as well. Aaron Lynch, looks to be a very good up and coming footballer as well. In fairness, Mead man says here winning the Tailteann was great for the team. A lot of criticism came from Kildare and Louth fans, two counties starved of success and the whipping boys of the All Ireland. And yeah, look, I'm sure Mead fans probably got a lot of banter thrown their way and a lot of criticism thrown their way. So I think you're
But
more
that's
than
it.
entitled
Like
to
we've talked about it. Like we've talked about it. Look at Mead now, Tailteann Cup champions, and straight into the All Ireland next season. And it's one of those things where Louth on paper at the start and throughout the year, like Louth technically, probably had a better season than Meath. But look at what Louth finished the year off with. Kerry ripping them apart limb from limb. Dublin ripping them apart limb from limb. Meath get to win a national trophy in Croke Park. It's not a bad ending.
It definitely isn't. It definitely isn't, and it certainly will stand to them. You'd hope so. Anyway, going into the next few years, maybe to finish up on down. Like, I mean, obviously disappointment for them. Like, missed a couple of goal chances. A lot of Kilcue lads in the side. It just felt like they panicked towards the end of the game ever so slightly and just ran out of ideas. But look, at the same time, like it's for year one for Conor Laverty. Young players in the side, Oran Murdoch, a few under 20 lads coming in. I don't think it's not the end of the world or anything for Down. Like, it's a young side, first year where the Kilcue lads have bought in. As you were saying with Mead, continuity is needed there, and I think the same for Down. And look, they'll be contenders for Division 3 next year, and getting into the All Ireland series for next year is, it's not impossible for Down, and they're certainly not going anywhere. They've got, a good conveyor belt of younger players coming through, and there certainly is a lot of positives for Down despite losing this game.
No, there is. There's a lot of positives, and this year they are a team on the up. They are a team in the right direction, and it's crazy how quickly things changed in 1 year. Like this time last year, Down were in a mess. Yeah. And Laverty coming in has changed them around very, very quickly. So first year there, and he's taking them to a Tailteann Cup final. Next season, I'm guaranteeing they'll have their eye on promotion to Division 2, and they'll have their eye on taking it up another level now. And I expect Down to get better and better over the next 2 years. They have some cracking players coming through. If they can get the likes of Ryan McAvoy fully fit, if they can get the likes of Quaylon Mooney back, they'll just get better and better. Jerome Johnson is another one. I'd love to see them getting him back to his best. Barry O'Hagan, players like that, get them back in. They can get better and better.